Hello, my name is Tennyson Stead, and this is the 8-Sided Blog. First of all, this is my writing beard. I'll trim it up, but you're getting shaggy Tenny. So, having just finished a screenplay, this is what I look like. There's two basic elements to what makes us saleable to the people around us, okay? And the first thing, and the most obvious thing, is the thing that you can do that nobody else can do. Because that's a huge part of what makes you necessary to other people. When I say that, there's a lot of folks out there who are gonna come back with, well, there's nothing I can do that no one else can do. And that's literally never the case. There's something in our background, there's something in what has gone into the sort of primordial soup of our identity that has created circumstances in some way that have never been created before on Earth. When we talk about creative identity, what we're really talking about is the sort of mixture of things that we can express and that we have command over that other people don't have command over. It's really that simple. So, in terms of ironing out your brand and in terms of figuring out how you relate to other people, what I recommend is take a look at what you're trying to succeed at that everybody else is failing at. Because whatever that thing is, it's gonna provide some real clues into what you think you can do that no one else can do. There's a part of you that already knows that you're capable of things that other people don't have the stuff for. And your sort of initial, ice pick in terms of cracking that mystery open is gonna be looking at your ambitions and asking yourself, what makes them different? Because there's something about how you see your contributions that is driving you to make them in the first place. That is a piece of your brand, okay? The other components to your brand and the other stuff that's gonna make your brand as effective as it is just the habits that you've already built. When you sell yourself and when you set expectations for yourself in the industry, you want to make sure that you're setting expectations that you can meet. There's a lot of things that you've practiced and a lot of things that you've gotten so good at doing that you never have to think about them. You want to make sure that other people know to expect those things from you. Number one, because they're going to happen whether they expect them or not. You don't want it to be a surprise. And also because you wouldn't have built these habits if you didn't think they had value. You have become the show person that you are because you think it brings value to the industry. Don't overlook that stuff when you're selling yourself. That's the continuity. Your habits are the continuity that agents and managers are always asking for when they ask you what your brand is, okay? So when people are asking you kind of what's the core values, what's the core of what we can expect, just lean back on the things that you don't have to think about and sell that. Because it's maintaining that expectation is not going to be a challenge for you anymore. You've already beaten it into your system so much. Along the way, showcase the thing that you're doing that no one else is capable of doing, and all of a sudden that brand gels in ways that every marketing person will understand and in ways that help benefit the community around you, okay? The thing that I think I bring to this industry, both to my collaborators and to my audience, is high fidelity, classical performance values to genre film. When people start writing science fiction and when they start writing fantasy and when they start writing very imaginative works, okay, they get understandably excited by the ideas that fuel that imagination, and they get hooked by the imagery, by the toys of it all, right? They get hooked by the fun of it. And it becomes very easy to lose track of what makes cinema good, and it becomes very easy to lose track of our role as a service provider to our audience and to the people in the industry around us, right? It's seductive to start putting our ego first, and it happens all the time. And I don't think that anyone else is actively working on showcasing the performances of the actors and showcasing the work that goes into making great scene work as diligently and as thoroughly as I can. And at the same time, it's not just about even the actors. My commitment to performance as production value, my commitment to classical show business goes, going back to the blog on why eight-sided films and why I'm such a maniac in business. It's because I know that the things that work the best have been working for a really long time. I know my dramaturgy, and I understand that, if we look back at what made theater in Athens successful, and if we look at what made theater in England successful in Shakespeare, if we look at what has made show business successful, what made vaudeville successful in New York, what makes show business work on the most fundamental level hasn't changed. And it doesn't matter how many spaceships we put in it, it's not going to change today. And if we just lean in, anyway, the point is, I get a little carried away. The point is that if we lean on the fundamentals and we practice those fundamentals and we use the ideas and the toys and the special effects and everything else as tools to present lines of action and strong performances, and we don't flip that whole sort of value system inside out just to make use of a couple of cool ideas. If we let theater and show business be fun for the reasons it's always been fun, and then we just put more spaceships in it, I think things get a lot more rewarding, and the relationship between the actor and the audience gets a lot more rewarding. And what I have to sort of keep in mind in that process is that it's not about me. It's not about my ideas. It's not about my imagination. It's me empowering my cast and my crew to connect with my audience. I don't know of anybody else who can do that to the degree that I can. And, if someone does, or if I find that it's been happening all around me and I've just been overlooking it, then I'll find something else unique about myself. But right now, that is the thing that I look to sort of showcase my uniqueness in the industry. The habits that make me strong are, all the things I just kept getting sidetracked by while I was trying to explain this idea. You see what I'm saying? It's the fact that I'm constantly empowering my actors to connect with my audience, even at the expense of the opportunity of world building, or even at the expense of, maybe some visual imagination that might have been thrown up on the screen. It's the fact that I zero in on the things that are going to make me successful without having to think about it. It's the fact that I'm talking to you here right now on this blog. It's the fact that I feel frustrated with myself and itchy and wrong until I do my monthly blogs. You're going to notice that I have this same shirt on, for the next 4 or 5 blogs. And it's because I'm sitting here at the end of April recording all of these blogs, one after the other, so I can edit them and so I can publish them and so I can get onto other stuff. I've got to write my Stage 32 article for this month. There's a lot of things I need to do along the way. And if I don't do those things, I start feeling antsy and I start feeling like I've done something wrong. And I don't like that feeling. Those habits they're a commitment. If I stop thinking of them as things that I am compelled to do, because I've only become compelled to do them because I've done them so many times. If I start thinking of them as things that I consciously choose to do in order to make my community stronger, because it certainly was a choice to beat those habits into myself, then they become an extremely powerful, potent part of my brand. All the screenwriting choices that I make along the way, in developing a story for the actors, all of those little things are things that people can expect from me that I don't have to think about. I'm going to do them whether I want to or not, probably. Rather than think of those things as involuntary reflexes, it helps my brand to present them as deliberate things that I offer the industry in points of value, right? You take those habits, you take those points of value, and you combine them with the idea that I am creating genre stories with a laser sharp focus on classical performance values. And now you have eight-sided films. Now you have what I bring to the industry. If you take a look at the things that you do involuntarily and you combine them with the one thing that you are making a concerted, focused effort to achieve that no one else can achieve, you don't need to think past that. That's what you have to offer the industry. It's what you're trying to offer the industry, and it takes advantage of all the things that you bring to the table that you don't have to think about. You don't want to have to do more than that for your brand. You don't want maintaining your brand to be work that you do extraneous to all the other work that you're doing to accomplish your goals. Does that make sense? You want it simple. So what's the stuff you do without thinking? What's the one thing you're thinking about all the time? Put them together. That's your brand. Thank you for watching. If you like what you're getting out of these eight-sided blogs, please click the like button. Please click the subscribe button. Please click the little bell so you get your notifications and you know when there's another eight-sided blog coming up. And thank you very much for showing up. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.